Hey, new moons. Before we get into today's episode, which is my birthday episode, yay, I have to go over how to contact me again. It is lua-nova.carrd.co. And it's not at the end of this episode because it was recorded before the webpage was live. Okay. So when you get to the end of this episode, feel free to just skip that because that again was recorded long before my webpage was live and good to go. That is the new way to reach out to me is lua-nova.carrd.co. I know I sound like a frog now, but I promise I'm not going to sound like that in this episode or the ones going forward. All right. I am better. I promise. Okay. Let's get into it. Bonjour, new moms. I am Josie, the Afro-Latina Regina George of Witches, and you are aligned with the frequency of the Lua Nova podcast. And your favorite Afro-Latina witch has a birthday. You all know I'm a Virgo sun. And so at the time of this recording, this will be right before my birthday. And I wanted to give you a gift instead of focusing on myself. Typical Virgo. And whenever I make a reference episode, I'm aware that I'm not going to cover every single thing and remember every single note, but these reference episodes are meant to be a starting off point for you. There are many books and spiritual practitioners like myself, manifestation coaches, etc., that teach the same things. And I advise you to not just reference just me, but to also check them out as well, because everybody has something to share and they may cover something in a way that I didn't. But the way that I cover things is basically for everybody. I try to make it to where everybody across the board gets it and to where everybody across the board feels like it's something that actually applies to them. And sometimes I'll even give you real world examples of areas of my life where, I've had these experiences and thoughts, etc. But today's episode is about matching the vibration of anything that we want to manifest. You will oftentimes hear me and spiritual practitioners, witches, all of the spiritual practitioner is pretty much a witch. All of the spiritual community say that you have to match the vibration of something. Everything in this life has a vibration and a frequency. Pretty much the same thing, okay? Including you. Think about the fact that you have a pulse. That's your frequency. That is a real world example of your frequency, okay? The earth, everything around you, anything that you can think of has a frequency, okay? So whenever you want to manifest anything, you have to match that vibration. You have to match that frequency. And today I'm actually going to explain what that means because that's the best gift that I can give you is to try to get into that. And anytime that you hear my dog rattling in the back, that's his confirmation. So let's get started. I want to talk to you about the law of attraction really quickly. You're going to hear about the law of attraction, of course, all of the time, not just for me, but in general. It is very much so an important part of the universal laws. It's everybody's go-to. And in this episode, it's important for the example that I'm going to give you in a second. So I'm going to give you the definition of the law of attraction. Many people will say you can look it up, but I could just give it to you right now. The law of attraction is the belief that positive or negative thoughts bring positive or negative experiences into a person's life. It operates on the principle that like attracts like. Meaning that focusing on what you want rather than what you don't want will draw those desires into your reality. However, I'm going to add to this. If you focus on what you don't want, you attract more of that. Law of attraction. Because you can also attract negative. You think negative, you get negative. You think annoyed, you get annoyed. Guess what that also is? Vibration. If you stay in a low vibration of negativity, of copying other people and not being yourself, of pretty much never doing anything good for yourself, talking down to yourself, mistreating other people, especially your loved ones, then all of that is low vibration. All of that also attracts more of that to you. Law of attraction. And so the reason why I wanted to talk to you about that before getting into matching a vibration is that that's what matching a vibration means. So I am going to talk to you really briefly about something I noticed with a listener. And this is in no way meant to bash this listener. I'm just going to use them as an example. I'm not going to give their name or anything above. They're just strictly an example. If I repost something, they repost it. If I comment on something, then they will comment almost the exact same comment. They never think for themselves. And so you see, as the teacher of the zodiac, I need you all to understand that you also can't have a very great life if you are so busy trying to be like someone else. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I'm flattered that you want to be like me, that something about me resonates with you. And I do not mean that we have things in common. Obviously, I have a lot of things in common with my listeners. I interact with you all the time on TikTok. I know this. That's not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is that you have to find your own vibration. Because if you're trying to be my vibration, you can't manifest anything that way. So you want to manifest the same exact thing I manifest? The exact same life? Okay, but will that work out for you? No, because we're not the same person. Because we have completely different vibrations. Okay? Everything in this world has a frequency. Everything in this world has a vibration. Same thing. And so I want you to find yours, your vibration, your frequency, and I want you to stick with it, and I want you to stay in it. Especially if it's a high vibration, I want you to stay in that so that you can keep getting what you want. That's today's real lesson here. Okay? So when we're talking about vibration in the context of law of attraction, I want you to hear my notes here. Vibration refers to the energy frequency that a person emits based on their thoughts, their emotions, and their actions, not someone else's, theirs. Higher vibrations are associated with positive feelings such as love, joy, and gratitude. Lower vibrations are linked to negative emotions like fear, anger, frustration, envy, jealousy. Got it? So, okay, here's the example I want you to hang on to. I want you to think of yourself, and I'm going to give a real world example here, that you are my Hello Kitty magnet. You all know that my whole life I have collected, most of my life, I have collected Hello Kitty. And that pink has been my favorite color long before people discovered Hello Kitty and pink. Way before that. When it was a fad, way back in the day, it was my favorite. When I was a child and I was told that I was too prissy for loving so much pink, it was still my favorite. When I began to get older and I started to love Hello Kitty, I didn't care that I was told I was getting too old to like Hello Kitty. I don't give a damn. I've never given a damn. I'm always going to be me. So I want you to picture my pink Hello Kitty kitchen. There's a little bit of Hello Kitty in there, not a lot. And I want you to think of yourself as being the Hello Kitty magnet. And yes, I know I gave you this long example before I got into it because I really want you to picture yourself as being there. You're the magnet. Now I want you to think of what it is that you want to manifest. Okay? What is it that you want to manifest? It doesn't have to be big. It could be something small. It doesn't have to be on this massive scale. I always use the example of a yacht, but what if you just want to manifest a Hyundai? That's fine too. Your manifestation isn't any less than anybody else's. You're no less than just because you want something different than somebody else, because we're all a different vibration. We all want different things in this life. That's what makes us who we are. Don't try to be somebody else's vibration. Be your own and be happy about it. And so now that you know what it is that you want to manifest, you've got it in your mind, right? That's what the refrigerator is. So when you picture these two things coming together, do they struggle to come together? No, especially if you're like me and you clean the hell out of everything. That refrigerator is clean. Okay? That refrigerator is stainless. So that magnet is meant to easily go onto it, right? Right. So I want you to think of low vibration now. And the low vibration is going to be dust. The low vibration is you are talking terribly to people. You let somebody ruin your day because they're a terrible driver. You you have not been treating yourself very well. You're not moving your body. You're eating like shit. You're not sleeping very much. You want to stay up all night on TikTok. You're up until 4 a.m. on TikTok, and you've been on there all day. You hardly moved out the bed today. I want you to think of all of these low vibrational things. You have not been taking care of yourself, your home. You're not being very high vibrational here. You're not, your energy is very much so that, or somebody else's anger, envy, whatever is transferring to you, and you're taking that rhythm on. Okay? You're now matching their rhythm. All of that's low vibrational. All of that is the dust on the back of this magnet. What happens when you try to put it on the refrigerator now? Exactly. It's not going to stay. It's not going to go on there. That is what I mean by an actual example of matching the vibration of what it is that you want. Yes, you can always apply the law of action. The law of action does not mean that I'm telling you that you have to go work 50 hours. The law of action applies to, I'm going to go get myself a notebook because I want to start journaling. I'm going to try this EFT tapping that Josie keeps talking about that she does. I want to try it too. I'm going to look up Gala Darling and see what's the best way to do it. Or I'm going to look up somebody else who does EFT tapping. I'm going to try to meditate today. And even if I'm not that great at it and I can only get through 2 minutes of it, I'm going to try. All of that is now raising that vibration. Okay? The tone that we have to ourselves, the tone that we have for our entire life, which also, by the way, means vibration. All of that has to stay at a certain level in order to get what we want and to keep it. I talked to you all before about keeping the manifestation. You got the Hello Kitty Stanley Cup and you don't take care of it, it molds. Okay? What a waste of manifesting something that you wanted. You got the love of your life and you treat them like shit. They leave you. You're right. You did manifest them and now they're gone. So staying in that vibration means you treat that person well. You wash that cup. You dust that refrigerator. You shower. And I understand I'm in no way talking about clinical depression or anything like that that can affect your mental health. I'm in no way saying that you are less than, no, whatsoever, because I am in no way a doctor and I advise everybody to get professional help when you need it. My profession is spiritual. I can help you spiritually, but whenever I see that you need more than that, I am going to recommend that you do go to a psychiatrist, psychologist, etc., therapist, all of the above. Those are things that that's not in my realm. That's not in my wheelhouse, as people in corporate like to say. But spiritually, I can tell you that for those of you that are just using that as an excuse, you are now low vibrational. So you don't get to use that as an excuse because I know better and you do too. I know because spiritually I can see that you are just using that as an excuse, and I'm not going to allow you to do that. You can do that with somebody else, but not with me. I see right through it. You think I need tarot to see that right through some of these excuses? I sure don't. I simply have a gift for tarot. However, that spiritual gift of tarot simply means that that's when my spirit guides come in and say, here are the actual words that we want you to give them. However, by myself, without that tarot, I can still see and hear a lot of things, including your excuses that you are not saying out loud. I want better for you. The whole point of the Loa Noma brand is to help people to see how their own greatness is to stay in it, and is to get you to understand that you do not have to work hard to be worthy of what it is that you want, because you already are. And once you understand your worthiness, it is going to be so much easier to manifest. I get that large manifestations, like one of the ones that I am working on, take so much time. They can. Everybody's different. Everybody's on a different vibration. Everybody's on a different path. I get they can take a while. I still want to keep you in that high vibration though, so that you don't give up. And yes, that's a message to me too. So that you don't feel that discouragement